besties. Welcome back to my channel. This is my monthly reset video. So I'm gonna talk about the books that I read in November, and then we're gonna pick together my TBR for December. Okay, here's the deal. In October, I was on a roll. I was like, oh my god, I read 15 books. I'm going to catch up to my reading goal, because my goal is 150. And I was like, okay, if I just read at least a book a week, maybe even 2 or 3 books a week, I'd be happy with that, because that's my usual rate. Some of these books, I ended up doing I think 2 or 3 books this month, because they were putting me into a slump. So the breakdown for November is I read 6 books, 2,165 pages, average rating 2.63. That's just how the rest of this is gonna go. If you can't tell, it was a disappointing month for November. So the first 2 books that I read are a part of the Cozy Creek collection, and I didn't realize it at the time, but it seems to be a series of standalones set in a town in Colorado, kind of setting the scene for fall. It has that fall setting, it has that aesthetic of it. I didn't realize at the time. I should have noticed, because here's the thing. The first book that I read, it was called Fall at Once, and the second book I read was called Fall I Want. How I didn't click that in my head, crazy. Fall at Once was about a firefighter and a woman coming back to the town to help her grandmother with the bakery. So cute, right? In theory. I thought it was a really cute book. However, I do feel like it was very, very fast. I don't believe it was a novella. I think it was about 280 pages is what it says. So it was just really, really quickly. They have a third act breakup, which I hate. Or a third act miscommunication trope. I hate that. And then they get back together, and then the epilogue is literally the next day. I don't like when epilogues are so close to the main storyline. It just feels like you could have tried harder to expand the story past about what we already know as them as a couple. They were just saying I love you pretty quickly, and they didn't have time to really fall in love with each other. I think that the span of the week was I think the span of the book was about a month, because the grandmother is only healing from a sprained ankle. I just don't understand how you could fall in love that quickly, is my opinion. The second one from that collection was called Fall I Want, and it was by Lila Parrish. And again, I thought I would love the book because it's just so cozy, it's so cute, and it was just so quick. It was again, super quick of them falling in love and getting to know each other. I think again this one is about a month timeline, and this book was even longer than the other book. This one was 400 pages, so you have double the amount of pages, but still the short amount of time frame to fall in love and uproot your entire life for this person. Okay. Also, there was a weird witchy premonition aspect to the main characters, both of them, that was never fully expanded upon. I mean, never. And you only really which makes me upset, because the way that they get back together at the end uses that trope. It uses that commonality between them, but it's just I don't understand what's going on, so I don't understand how they know. I just wish that it was, I don't know, explained a little bit better, really dived into, because that's really cool powers, and especially if you're gonna put it into a I knew you were gonna be my soulmate situation. But I don't know, that's what I didn't like. And there was just too many tropes putting into this book, because there was them falling in love, the witchy aspect. There was also a ex situation that was really crazy in there, and I was okay. So I believe both books for me got a 2.75, because they just weren't great, and I'm upset, because those were my fall books. Those were getting me into the mood for fall. So the next book that I read was called The Ruck Up by Josie Watts. I believe that's her pen name. The main premise of this book, and maybe it's me, I'm a sucker, I love pregnancy trope books. I think that they can be played out really amazingly, and really show how well each person handles it under like pressure and how they communicate as a couple. I think it can be done really well. This book, no, it was sold as a pregnancy trope, and they don't get like she doesn't find out she's pregnant, or they don't get pregnant until like 80% into the book. Where's my pregnancy trope? Where's that morning sickness, that doubt of you being a mother? Like, I need that. Or maybe you don't need the doubt, but like I just need, like, don't sell it as a pregnancy trope book and then not have the pregnancy trope until like dang near the end of the book. There was also another X trope in this book, and my main question was, how did he keep getting out of jail? I mean, every time you thought that the main couple was safe, boom, he's out of jail again. And I'm like, there's no way. And I know like the American justice system can be pretty shitty, but not to the point where someone who's threatening your life this severely is getting released from jail. To me, I can't suspend disbelief. I can't pretend that that's not like a little bit insane that you're not in jail. That's all I'm gonna say. I end up giving it 2.5 stars, but I think I might take it down to 2.25, honestly. Like, now that I'm like rethinking about it. The next book I read was Play Fake by Lisa Suzanne. So this book I didn't love, only because I felt like it was going way too fast, and I do think that one of the tropes could have definitely been left off, like the whole fake marriage thing, because she was already in a contract to be the baby's nanny, so it doesn't make sense that she was also in a contract to be a fake, like a fake marriage. And then I think that I just didn't love the way that like the male main character, I think his name is Dex or Dylan, it starts with a D. I didn't like the way that he moved or thought. It was just kind of like, not condescending, but it was definitely like a man's point of view. And yeah, it ended up being lower than the rest of the books I read because it took so long to get through the book. It was 400 or 300 pages, and I was like dragging on. It definitely was the longest book I read, or the book that it took the longest for me to read during November. So if that says a lot, I don't know what to say. But yeah, it was just so that one ended up getting 2.25 stars. The next book that I ended up reading was 3 Pucking Words by B. Celeste. This book is so good. It got me out of my slump. I read it in basically a day or a day and a half, and it was just so cute. It was there's plus size representation, there's endometriosis and PCOS representation, and I feel like that's definitely needed these days. There was also a single dad trope, and it was just all overall very cute. It was never like they were friends first. I think that's what I like was missing from the basis of the previous books I read this month, is that there was a basis of like level. There was a base level of just like getting to know each other, getting to like talk and actually understand not only the 2 main characters. I believe it's Bodhi and Honor. Not the 2 main characters, but also like us as the readers getting to understand like the purpose, the drive between all of them. And it was just so cute. It was just very romantic. It was just an overall great book. It really got me out of my slump for this month, and I gave that book 4 stars. The last book that I read for November was Tangled in Vows by Jasmine Miller. I've read multiple books by her, so I thought that I'd give this one a try because I've heard good things. Darker romance, it's like an arranged marriage. There's like a history between the 2 characters. It's like her older sister's ex-fiance situation. And I'm not gonna lie, this book was the worst book I've ever read this month. This book was horrible. I'm not saying ever read. I shouldn't like be so dramatic, but this book was horrible. I was bored. I was so bored, like 20% into the book, and I was like, maybe it'll get better. Maybe I'll actually like keep reading and whatnot, because it was just a lot of exposition is what I'm gonna say. A lot of like, and it's so contradictory, but there was too much exposition. It was like, okay, we're learning about everything, instead of like in the first 20 pages, instead of it's like learning along like the end of the book. It's a very, and I literally said in my notes, I understand the reason why, but there's a build, and it's a long build, maybe too long. Like, I was over it at this point. And I was like trying to like piece it together because the author was trying to like leave clues for the future, and what it ended up doing was making me more confused because I even said it. I was like, from what I gather, they've been flirting since she was 16. I think he was like 20, and he was already at that point dating her older sister. I hate that. Not only is it a weird age gap, but it's also like, you're dating my sister, so why are you doing it? But we find out like later on like why. But like, it's just like in my head I couldn't get past that. But there was a stalker plot, and from what I can like safely say, and no spoilers involved, I just think that it was way too long of a plot. It over what's the word I'm trying to say? It like encompassed, like it overshadowed, that's the word, it overshadowed the romance plot. And I didn't read this book for a stalker plot. I read it for a romance plot, because otherwise I would have read a romance. I ended up hating it because it just kept dragging on and dragging on, and then literally at 150 pages, like there's 150 pages left, and I'm like, oh cool, like everything is resolved, they're kind of like falling in love, like oh my god, this is it, this is the end of the story. No, there were still 150 pages left. Like, what do you? I don't know. It ended up getting a 1.5 star for me. It was just horrible. I should have DNF'd it a while ago, but I wasn't thinking in my head, because this book was 405 pages of bullshit, straight bullshit. I mean, straight bullshit. End of question. So that was the end of my November reads, and I will say that like all these books have been interesting in a certain sense, but like I do think that a lot of this month, not only was I like working, but these books made me go into a slump. I was like not reading my average read, even at my average read, even just like something that's normal for me. Like my friends know I can read at least 5 books, um, in like 2 weeks. 5 books in a month? That's crazy, crazy. But we're clearing our head. We're moving past it. We're going past November, and we're moving into December, Christmas. So we're moving on to December. I have some prompts in my TBR jar that I'm really like excited to do. I don't have any like Christmassy ones, so I'm gonna pick. Let's say, what's a good number? So we're gonna pick 13 prompts, and then I think the other two, I'm going to actively look for Christmas books. So the one I've been seeing around on BookTok and BookTube and everything is called Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, and I really want to check that one out. It looks interesting because, girl, you get fucked by a ghost. Okay, all right, I see you. But yeah, we're gonna choose 13 prompts. Maybe just, should I do 13 or should I do like 3 Christmas books? 13. Should I go for 15? Or should I go for 13 books altogether? Yes. We're going to choose 10 prompts. We're going to go 3 books for Christmas vibes. So we already know that one's B.K. Borison. Alright? I have my storygraph pulled up to my TBR. Mind you, my TBR on storygraph, 500 books. 500 books. It's actually insane, and I do need to get that together. But every time I see a book, I'm like, add, add. Screenshot, and I like my screenshots are crazy full of books that I want to read, and I just keep like adding to my TBR, and I'm not taking anything off. Which one's speaking to me first? I think this one is. Right. Number 1 is a book with one word, a one-word title. Okay, book with one-word title. Out of all of these, how do I? The first book, literally first book that popped up into my TBR that had one word was Fallen by N.W. Eden. It looks cute. I'm really excited. It's a workplace romance. It's a billionaire romance. Girl, did you better get your money? Get your money up. Yeah. A book with a color, the name of a color, in the title. And I will accept like periwinkle, lavender. The first book that popped up, literally like 2 scrolls in, was Beyond the Blue Horizon by A.L. Jackson. It looks to be a winter and a dark romance, and I'm like trying to like expand my like thing from just like general romance. So I'm really interested in that one. Oh my god. A book with 400 pages. Really setting myself up for failure, ain't I? Okay, so the first one that I saw that has 400 pages, it's literally just over. Heartbreak Hero by Jackie Walker. And also there's the bodyguard romance. That's tea. A book of short stories. I don't know if this counts. I'm gonna count it because I need to get it off of my TBR, and it's my physical TBR too. But I'm going to read Milk and Honey by Reaper. It's been on my physical for so long, and I like am so late to the game. And I love a good like a book of poems. I think this is cute. I think this is my only one that's like physical. I'm gonna count this one. Next count this. Caught one by literally the sleeve. That's crazy. A book under 150 pages. Yay! Okay, literally the first one that popped up in my TBR is called Against the Odds by Brittany Kelly. And it looks to be like second chance romance, and I'm really iffy about them sometimes, but we're gonna give it a chance. Look with a favorite trope. Okay, I have like 7. I'm not gonna lie. I do love a good arranged marriage, or like a marriage of convenience, and I do love like a pregnancy trope. So if I can find both, amazing. I was going for a while. I had to go through my screenshots because, like I said, I screenshot everything that I see either on Facebook, Book Talk, BookTube, everything that I can think that's interesting to me is on my screenshots. So I was looking for a pregnancy trope or a marriage of convenience trope. Those are literally my 2 favorite tropes. And the first one that popped in my screenshots was Chasing Home by Piper Rain. It's not out yet. It comes out December 9th. But it is a pregnancy trope with a country pop star and like a cowboy or cowgirl farm. And I was like, that's kind of cute. That's kind of tea. The next TBR prompt is first recommendation on Instagram. I haven't been on my Instagram lately, so I'm sorry if you've been following me and you haven't like seen me update. It's just because it's a little bit harder for me to like get in the mindset of posting on Instagram, but I do go in there regularly. I do still like follow follow along everything that's going on. So I'm gonna go literally to my Bookstagram account and the first book. I'm having a doggo pick my book. Okay, which one should I choose? The feral one in the bottom row, I think, is calling to me. Number 5. It's books that make you want to bite the pages. Between those 3, Mate's already on my TBR. So let's do Mate. Let's do Mate by Allie Hazelwood. Alright, last 2. A book with magic. Just want to make sure. I'm trying to get some of my physical ones out the way too, guys. I guess technically it's magic, but that's a series, and I'm not starting a series. I'm not doing it. The first one that has magic in it was called What You Gonna Do by Avery Flynn. It looks very cute. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It looks very, very, very cute. The last TBR prompt, my best friend gets a pick. I'm literally gonna FaceTime her right now because she was just texting me. Bestie, I am filming a video. I am filming like my TBR video, and it's the prompt that I chose was best friend picture book. Alright, she chose Life of Addie Rulero for choosing this bookmark to go with it. Finish all the video. We're just gonna pick. I've already picked them. I'm just gonna tell you the 3 Christmassy books that I've picked so that so I can get in the vibe. I love Christmas. I love the vibes that it brings. The first Christmas book that I picked was Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. I think that's going to be so interesting. It's going to be so much fun. I think I picked 3. No, the next 2 Christmas books that I picked was You Make It Feel Like Christmas by Sophie Sullivan. It just looks Christmassy. Like, if you guys could see it, that looks Christmassy. That looks Christmassy as fuck. I'm really excited to do it. And then the third one has been on my TBR for so long. And I mean, like, stupid long. It's kind of crazy. I literally added it in 2022 when it first came out. A Merry Little Meet Cute. And I think I've, like, physically held it in my hands, but I didn't buy it because I was like, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? I think when I had it in my hands, or when I was going to the store, it wasn't Christmassy. Like, it wasn't Christmas time. It was, like, maybe, like, spring or just past Christmas. So I was like, dang, I can't read it. No, I'm gonna read it this year. It's funny. I haven't read anything by Sierra Simone, but I have read things by Julia Murphy. So I'm really excited to, like, see how that goes. And then I was like, you know what? I hate odd numbers. 13 books is a lot, but I'm just gonna add one more just to, like, make it even, because I hate odd numbers. That's autism talking a little bit, not gonna lie, you guys. So I love Greek retellings, Greek mythology, anything Greek related. Is it because Percy Jackson? Maybe. Pan over to Percy Jackson. I just love Greek mythology. I think that's very interesting, and my favorite couple is Hades and Persephone. I know there's a lot of, like, controversy around it, just because depending on, like, the story that's being told, the myth that's being told. But literally my favorite couple, a couple of weeks ago, I just saw a TikTok about the story about Hades and Persephone retellings, and one of the ones that was recommended was A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. And it's really interesting because it's, like, dual Pinot. It's a series, but it's one book is Persephone's, one book is Hades, and it bounces back like that for the entire series. I think it's 5 books, and like I said, I love it, and I don't believe that it's modernized. I can't remember, but either way, very interesting. I'm so excited to read that. That's my wild card for the month. All right, so that is the end of my monthly reset. I would usually journal, but I'm filming this later than I usually do. I'm filming this way later than I had planned. It's literally 1 in the morning, and I'm not going to journal today. So journaling will be saved for my next vlog, or whenever, or just by myself. I don't know. As a wrap up, here is my December TBR. Fallen by N.W. Eden. Beyond the Blue Horizon by A.L. Jackson. Heartbreak Hero by Jackie Walker. For Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. Against the Odds by Brittany Kelly. Chasing Home by Piper Rain. Mate by Allie Hazelwood. What You're Gonna Do by Avery Flynn. The Invisible Life by Addie LaRue. Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. And A Merry Little Meet Cute. You Make It Feel Like Christmas. And A Touch of Darkness. I'm pretty sure I'm missing 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure I'm missing 1. I know for a fact I'm missing 1. Editing Lauren, edit there, somewhere, I don't know. But I'm really excited about this, like, good mix of books. I really feel back in, like, my, like, reading mood. I was obsessed with playing on my Switch for, like, the first half of November. So hopefully, like, I can just stake it out. And I might not reach my goal of 150, not unless I read a bunch of short stories. I am going to be pretty close. I think I'm going to get, like, 120, 130. And 130 books in a year is crazy, and I'm so, like, grateful to be able to do that. Thanks, besties, for coming along with me and picking out my TBR. I'm so excited. I will be doing a wrap up at the end of this month, but I will also be doing a wrap up for the entire year sometime soon, and I just can't wait to break it down with you guys. All right, thank you so much. So keep subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.